Have you ever eaten something that looked perfectly fine, tasted amazing, yet left you feeling heavy, bloated, or weirdly tired an hour later? Maybe you brushed it off, just bad digestion. But what if it wasn't bad digestion at all? What if the real problem was a silent war happening inside your stomach? Two foods that should have never been on the same plate. See, the body is a genius of chemistry, precise, sensitive, elegant. Every bite you take sets off a microscopic symphony, enzymes awaken, acids bubble, hormones signal, and your gut, that silent, loyal servant, starts decoding what you've just sent in. But when you combine the wrong foods together, that orchestra turns into chaos. Notes clash, reactions misfire. What should have been energy becomes waste, gas, and fatigue. We live in a world obsessed with calories, carbs, and protein counts, yet we rarely talk about compatibility. We count what we eat, but not how we combine it. Think about it. You might eat fresh fruit in the morning, beautiful, clean, light, perfect start, right? But then you add milk to it, or worse, yogurt, smoothie time. Instagram loves it. But your gut, it's screaming quietly, because fruit digests fast, almost instantly, while dairy takes its time. Heavy, slow, demanding acid when fruit wants alkalinity. The result? Fermentation, gas, sluggishness. You didn't just have breakfast, you had a chemical conflict. And here's the irony. We grew up thinking healthy plus healthy sogs healthier. That's the myth. You take two foods that are each nutritious on their own, mix them, and assume your body will cheer. But food isn't math, it's chemistry. Two positives can become a negative when timing and compatibility collide. That's why Ayurvedic traditions, Chinese medicine, and even modern nutritionists have warned for centuries. It's not what you eat, it's what you combine. Let's visualize it. Imagine your stomach as a laboratory, warm, fluid, alive. Every ingredient you drop in there is like adding a new chemical compound into a beaker. One reacts quickly, fizzing and releasing gas. Another is stable and heavy, breaking down over hours. When you mix the two, the fast one starts rotting before the slow one is even halfway done. You don't see it, but you feel it. That post-meal sleepiness, that foggy brain, that why am I tired, I just ate? That's not aging, that's food confusion. And here's the thing nobody tells you, your gut remembers. Every bad combo trains it to expect conflict. It becomes more sensitive, less resilient. You begin to think you've developed an intolerance. Gluten, dairy, spicy food, whatever's trending this week. But often, it's not the ingredient itself, it's the company it keeps. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so what are these two foods I shouldn't mix? Hold that thought. Because this isn't about scaring you with forbidden lists. It's about changing how you see your plate, forever. Because once you understand the principle, you won't need memorized lists. You'll feel it. You'll look at a bowl and just know what belongs together and what doesn't. Here's a clue. One of these foods represents light, life, and quick energy. The kind that wakes you up, floods you with freshness, and clears your system like morning sunlight. The other is grounding, dense, nourishing, built for long-term fuel. Each is brilliant alone, but together, they clash like fire and ice. One wants speed, the other demands patience. One thrives on alkaline enzymes, the other on acid. When they meet, your digestion gets confused. It tries to process both speeds, both chemistries, and ends up doing neither well. You might feel fine for years. Then one day, acid reflux, bloating, skin issues, maybe even fatigue after meals, and you'll blame age, stress, lack of sleep. But the truth started way earlier, in the innocent mix of your favorite smoothie or that beloved sandwich combo you've eaten since college. Let's be honest, food today isn't just nourishment, it's identity, culture, convenience. You grab a fruit and yogurt parfait because it's fitspiration. You mix protein shakes with milk because that's what the label shows. You eat steak and potatoes because it's tradition. But if you step back and see it through your body's eyes, you realize we've been pairing comfort over chemistry. So before we expose the two foods you should never mix, I want you to think of one meal that always leaves you uncomfortable, even though it's supposed to be healthy. Maybe it's that morning smoothie, that dinner with meat and bread, or that dessert after a rich meal. Now picture your gut processing that mix. Acids trying to digest protein, enzymes breaking down sugars, both happening at different paces. There's confusion, there's strain, and over time that strain becomes your normal. But the good news, you can reset it. You can retrain your body to digest like nature intended, with clarity, not conflict. Because your gut, for all its complexity, follows simple wisdom, like dissolves like. Pair light with light, heavy with heavy. Don't rush what should be slow. Don't slow what should be quick. When you begin to eat with awareness, when you stop mixing just because it looks aesthetic, something magical happens. You don't just feel lighter, your energy stabilizes. Your mind clears, your mood lifts, because digestion isn't just a stomach story, it's a full body harmony. So, in this journey, we're not just learning which two foods to avoid mixing. We're uncovering a secret that can change how your body feels every single day. It's about synergy, balance, and respect for the chemistry inside you. And by the end, you'll understand why some food combinations, no matter how healthy they look, quietly sabotage your health, and how avoiding just one of them can make you feel years younger, lighter, and more alive. Because next, we'll reveal exactly which two foods, one sacred in its simplicity, the other powerful in its depth, should never be eaten together, and the science and ancient wisdom that explains why. All right, let's finally uncover the truth. The two foods that should never be mixed, the pair that looks innocent, tastes delightful, but silently disrupts your body's balance, are milk and fruit. Simple, right? You've probably seen them together 1,000 times. Fruit smoothies, yogurt parfaits, milkshakes, that colorful breakfast bowl topped with banana slices and strawberries. Every ad tells you it's health in a glass, natural, energizing, perfect for mornings. But inside your body, it's not a partnership, it's a standoff. Let's step inside your stomach for a moment, not literally, but imagine it. You take that first sip of your strawberry milkshake, sweet, creamy, refreshing. It hits your stomach and the digestive system immediately begins to decode it. Milk is complex, full of proteins, fats, and lactose sugars that require strong acids and slow, patient digestion. Fruit, on the other hand, is light and fast. It carries simple sugars and delicate enzymes that break down in minutes. Fruit says, let's move. Milk says, not so fast. Now you have two different digestive speeds fighting for control. The fruit, trapped in this slow, acidic environment, begins to ferment, producing gas, bloating, and discomfort. Meanwhile, the milk curdles prematurely, breaking down unevenly. The result? Chaos. Instead of clean energy, you get heaviness, drowsiness, and poor nutrient absorption. That so-called healthy smoothie is actually robbing your body of efficiency. Ayurveda, one of the world's oldest systems of holistic medicine, warned about this centuries ago. It classifies milk as an animal product with cooling, heavy, slow-digesting properties, and fruit as a plant-based light, quick, and heating energy. When you combine them, the body's natural intelligence gets confused. The fire that's supposed to digest milk burns too hot for the fruit and too cool for the milk at the same time. The body loses equilibrium. But let's make this real. Not textbook. You felt it before, haven't you? That feeling after a fruity milkshake when your stomach feels unsettled. You're not in pain, but you're not fine either. A slight fog, a sense of being off. You think, maybe it's too sweet. But it's not the sugar, it's the timing. Your stomach is processing two different meals at once. It's like asking your brain to read two books simultaneously in two different languages. Even modern science now echoes what ancient wisdom knew. Studies show that when you mix high-protein foods like milk with high-fructose foods like fruit, they compete for enzymatic resources. The body's energy gets divided. Protein digestion slows down. Fruit sugars linger longer than they should. The gut microbiome reacts, fermenting the leftover sugars, creating gas, inflammation, and that dull heaviness you can't quite name. Over time, this imbalance can weaken digestion, trigger skin reactions, and even affect your energy cycles. Still, we've built entire food cultures around this mistake. Think about your childhood. Banana milk, strawberry milk, mango lassi, fruit custards, all delicious, all comforting, but all combining incompatible foods. These pairings didn't come from biology, they came from flavor. And taste, while powerful, can sometimes mislead us because what feels good on your tongue might not feel good in your cells. Now, let me be clear, this isn't fear-mongering. I'm not here to demonize milk or fruit. Each is a gift on its own. Milk, when pure, nourishes like nothing else, building strength, calcium, and calm. Fruit, in its natural simplicity, cleanses, hydrates, and rejuvenates. But their digestion cycles are so different that mixing them forces your system into contradiction. Think of it like this. You wouldn't drive a sports car and a tractor on the same racetrack at the same time. One's built for speed, the other for endurance. If you force them together, both perform poorly. That's exactly what happens in your gut when you blend fruit and milk. You get neither the full vitality of fruit nor the full nourishment of milk, just compromise. You might say, but I've been drinking smoothies for years and I'm fine. Maybe you are, or maybe you've just adapted to the discomfort. Many of us confuse common with normal. Feeling bloated after meals isn't normal. Feeling tired after breakfast isn't normal. We've simply learned to tolerate signals that something's off. Your body doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. In skin dullness, slow mornings, mild acidity, or that strange afternoon crash. Now imagine this, you start your morning with just fruit alone as it was meant to be eaten. It digests cleanly quickly. Within 30 minutes, you feel awake, clear, fresh. Then later in the day, you have milk or yogurt on its own, not competing with anything else. You'll notice the difference within a week. Lighter, more stable, fewer cravings, because your body isn't fighting internal friction anymore. This principle goes beyond just milk and fruit. It's a doorway into a new way of thinking. Food combining based on digestion harmony. Some foods need acid, others need alkali, some are quick release, others are slow burn. When we respect those natural laws, our bodies reward us with energy, clarity, and calm. Ignore them, and our bodies push back. Here's a quick visual. Fruit plus milk, fermentation. Protein plus starch, acid reflux. Meat plus sugar, yeast sluggish digestion. Honey plus ghee in equal parts. Funny, toxic compound buildup. See the pattern? Each of these pairs looks fine on the surface, but beneath it, they're biochemical mismatches. But fruit and milk remain the biggest culprits because they disguise themselves as healthy. The vibrant colors, the creamy texture, they seduce you. Yet nature designed them for different digestive paths. Fruit was meant to cleanse, milk was meant to nourish. You don't cleanse and build at the same time, you alternate. So the next time you crave that smoothie, pause, ask yourself, is this combination helping my body or confusing it? Because once you begin to eat with awareness, you realize food isn't just about taste. It's energy choreography, timing, sequence, and synergy. And when you start honoring that rhythm, food becomes your medicine again. You feel it, not as a diet rule, but as relief. Your mornings get lighter, your sleep improves, even your skin begins to glow differently, because harmony inside reflects as beauty outside. That's the power of understanding what not to mix. It's not restriction, it's wisdom. So now that we've identified what not to mix, let's go further. In part 3, we'll uncover the why, the deep physiological and energetic reasons behind this incompatibility and how your gut chemistry reacts in real time. We'll also talk about the hidden science of food timing, why when you eat certain foods matters as much as what you eat, because once you grasp that, you'll never see your plate the same way again. Let's go beneath the surface now, deeper into the why, because understanding why fruit and milk don't belong together isn't just about memorizing a diet rule. It's about uncovering the brilliant, intricate logic your body lives by, a language of chemistry, rhythm, and instinct that most of us have forgotten. You see, digestion isn't a single act. It's a concert of precise chemical reactions. Each food triggers a unique set of enzymes and acids, and those enzymes aren't multitaskers, they're specialists, designed for one job at a time. When you mix foods that require opposite digestive environments, those enzymes cancel each other out. Your stomach becomes confused, and confusion always creates waste. Let's break it down. Fruit is rich in natural sugars like fructose and glucose, quick, clean-burning fuel. To digest them, your stomach doesn't need heavy acid. It needs a light, alkaline environment where the enzymes amylase and invertase can act freely. But milk demands a whole different story. It contains casein, a slow, complex protein that clumps when exposed to acid. Your body releases renin and pepsin, enzymes that thrive in acidic conditions. So, when you throw both fruit and milk together, you're asking your body to perform two opposite reactions simultaneously, one alkaline, one acidic, and that's when the war begins. The stomach, trying to compromise, produces an uneven pH, not acidic enough to digest milk properly, not alkaline enough to handle fruit efficiently. The fruit sugars left waiting start fermenting. That fermentation releases carbon dioxide and alcohols, bloating your gut and slowing peristalsis, the rhythmic contractions that move food along. The milk curdles prematurely, trapping the fruit inside those protein clumps. Now your digestive system isn't breaking down nutrients, it's managing chaos. The result? Nutrient loss, incomplete absorption, and internal fatigue. You might not even notice it as pain. It could manifest as mental fog, dull skin, mood dips, or that vague afternoon crash you've come to accept as normal. But let's pause the science for a second and feel it emotionally. Your body, at its core, is a system that loves harmony. Every process, from heartbeat to breath to digestion, thrives on rhythm. Disruption feels unnatural. That's why when you give your body simplicity, it rewards you with clarity. You eat fruit alone, it thanks you with energy. You drink milk alone, it nourishes and calms. But mix them, and that inner orchestra starts playing offbeat. You feel it as discomfort, not because your body is weak, but because it's wise enough to signal, this doesn't belong here. Ancient traditions captured this truth long before lab coats existed. Ayurveda calls it viruddha ahara, incompatible food combinations. The idea isn't superstition, it's observation refined through centuries. It teaches that each food has an energy, heating, cooling, grounding, cleansing, and every digestive fire, Agni, operates within balance. When you mix foods with opposite energies, you extinguish that fire. Digestion slows. Toxins, what Ayurveda calls ama, begin to accumulate. Ama isn't just physical residue, it's energetic clutter. It makes you feel heavy, dull, uninspired. Ever had a meal that left you physically full, but emotionally drained? That's ama whispering through your cells. Modern science is slowly catching up. Gut health research now reveals how delicate the microbiome really is. A vibrant community of trillions of bacteria that depends on balance. Every time we overload it with confusing combinations, we disrupt that harmony. Fermented fruit sugars feed yeast instead of good bacteria. Proteins ferment instead of digest. The gut lining inflames, permeability increases, and toxins leak into the bloodstream, what some call leaky gut. And it all begins with something as innocent as that fruit and milk combo. Think about how often we ignore the body's language. You drink a smoothie and feel bloated. You shrug it off. You eat dessert after steak and feel sluggish. You blame your workload, but the truth is the body always speaks through energy levels, digestion, skin clarity, even mood. We just stopped listening. Let me tell you something powerful. When you eat right for your chemistry, you don't just digest better, that you think clearer, your emotions stabilize. Because your gut isn't just a digestive organ, it's your second brain. It produces serotonin, dopamine, your feel-good chemicals. When your gut is happy, your mood naturally lifts. When it's inflamed, your thoughts fog up. So that innocent smoothie isn't just affecting your stomach. It's shaping your mindset, your productivity, even how you see the world. And here's where it gets fascinating. Every traditional culture intuitively practiced food separation. The Japanese don't mix milk with fruit. They eat them hours apart. The Mediterranean diet, often praised for longevity, rarely combines dairy with high-sugar fruits. Even in Africa and South Asia, fruits are eaten fresh, separately, as snacks or cleansers, not as part of creamy meals. Somewhere between convenience culture and Instagram aesthetics, we lost that wisdom. But we can reclaim it, not by fear, but by awareness. Start simple. Eat fruit solo, ideally in the morning on an empty stomach. Give it 30 minutes to do its work. Cleanse, hydrate, refresh. Later, if you crave milk, have it warm and alone, like an offering to calm your nerves before sleep. You'll notice within days, lighter digestion, steadier mood, deeper rest. You'll also start to recognize your body's feedback. The bloating you thought was random wasn't random. The heaviness after certain healthy meals wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. Your gut was teaching you its chemistry, patiently, gently, waiting for you to listen. So let's stop seeing food through trends and start seeing it through truth. Not as numbers, calories, macros, but as energies that either harmonize or collide. Because your plate is a laboratory and your choices are the formulas you test every single day. And when you finally master that chemistry, your digestion becomes effortless. Food stops being a burden and becomes a source of light, literal cellular light, fueling you with clarity. In the next part, we'll go beyond digestion. We'll explore the ripple effect, how bad food combinations like milk and fruit influence your metabolism, your immunity, even your emotional state. Because the consequences of food confusion go far beyond your gut. They touch your hormones, your sleep, and the very way you age. So stay with me, because this isn't just about avoiding one combination, it's about rediscovering the ancient science of eating in rhythm with your body.